So in today's video, I'm going to talk about AMD and why I think it'll be a great investment over the next several years. So I want to start off by sharing this video that for me reinforced my plan to start accumulating AMD shares aggressively.
The MI450 series, we are extremely excited for the MI450. The memory architecture is great for inference. I believe it can be an incredible option for training as well. When you first started telling me what you were thinking about for the specs, I was like, there's no way. That just sounds totally crazy. That's too big. But it's really been so exciting to see you all get close to delivery on this. And I think it's going to be an amazing thing.
So as I'm sure you guys already know, that was the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, the man pioneering the AI landscape through ChatGPT. The significance of Sam Altman going and speaking on behalf of AMD and what it is that they're working on speaks great lengths to the role that AMD will play in the hyperscalers' AI infrastructure build-out. Sam Altman sounds genuinely shocked at what it is that Lisa Su and the AMD team have been able to pull off here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is break down what products will give AMD a competitive edge and why, and then we'll go ahead and get into the financials. All right, so let's check out this CNBC article. AMD reveals next generation AI chips with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. AMD unveiled new details about its next generation AI chips, the Instinct MI400 series that will ship next year. The MI400 chips will be able to be assembled into a full server rack called Helios, AMD said. Lisa Su says,
Helios is truly a game changer. For the first time, we architected every part of the rack as a unified system. That's combining our CPUs, our GPUs, our Pensando NICs, and our ROCm software all together in one platform. And it's really purpose-built for the most demanding AI workloads.
Think of Helios as really a rack that functions like a single massive compute engine, said Su, comparing it against Nvidia's Vera Rubin racks, which are expected to be released next year. AMD's rack scale technology also enables its latest chips to compete with Nvidia's Blackwell chips. With the MI400 chips and this year's MI355X chips, AMD is planning to compete against rival Nvidia on price, with a company executive telling reporters the chips will cost less to operate thanks to lower power consumption, and that AMD is undercutting Nvidia with aggressive prices. Su said that AMD's MI355X can outperform Nvidia's Blackwell chips, despite Nvidia using its proprietary CUDA software. AMD's general manager for data center GPUs said that AMD's AI chips would cost less to operate and less to acquire, so significant double-digit percentage savings. AMD has bought or invested in 25 AI companies in the past year, Su said, including the purchase of ZT Systems earlier this year, a server maker that developed the technology AMD needed to build its rack-size systems.
ZT Systems is one of the most capable hyperscale solutions providers, and they're really focused on the largest data centers in the world. So if you think about our strategy, our strategy is about high performance computing and AI as the largest growth vector for us over the next couple of years. And we've talked about the size of this AI TAM. We believe the AI TAM in data center accelerators alone is over $400 billion by 2027. It's a huge opportunity, and we've been investing for the long run and investing in that strategy. So it's about our silicon solutions, which are really capable, our software solutions, which are really capable, and now we add sort of the third leg of that stool, which is the system solutions that really wraps it all together. So it's really exciting opportunity for us, and great team that we're bringing on board.
This acquisition is a huge part of their competitive advantage with Nvidia. Said these AI systems are getting super complicated and full stack solutions are really critical, Su said. So what is AMD selling now? Currently, the most advanced AMD AI chip being installed from cloud providers is its Instinct MI355X, which the company said started shipping in production last month. AMD said that it would be available for rent from cloud providers starting in the third quarter. Companies building large data center clusters for AI want alternatives to Nvidia, not only to keep costs down and provide flexibility, but also to fill a growing need for inference. Su says what has really changed is the demand for inference has grown significantly. AMD officials said Thursday that they believe their new chips are superior for inference to Nvidia's. That's because AMD's chips are equipped with more high-speed memory, which allows bigger AI models to run on a single GPU.
We also have leadership memory capacity, leadership memory bandwidth, and leadership interconnect speed. But Helios goes even further. Compared to the competition, we support 50% more HBM4 memory bandwidth, and scale-out bandwidth. And these are big advantages. I mean, this is our sweet spot. We've always had this memory architecture. And what this translates in is faster training, higher inference throughput, and the ability to really handle massive models.
The MI355X has 7 times the amount of computing power as its predecessor, AMD said. Those chips will be able to compete with Nvidia's B100 and B200 chips, which have been shipping since late last year. AMD said its Instinct chips have been adopted by 7 of the 10 largest AI customers, including OpenAI, Tesla, xAI, and Cohere. Oracle plans to offer clusters with 131,000 MI355X chips to its customers. Officials from Meta said that they were using clusters of AMD CPUs and GPUs to run inference for its Llama model, and that it plans to buy AMD's next generation servers. And a Microsoft representative said that it uses AMD chips to serve its Copilot AI features. AMD declined to say how much its chips cost, but the company is planning for the MI400 chips to compete on price, because its chips use less power than its rivals. AMD claims its MI355X can deliver 40% more tokens, a measure of AI output, per dollar than Nvidia's chips, because its chips use less power than its rivals, and cloud companies usually buy them in large quantities. AMD's AI chip is still much smaller than Nvidia's. It said it had $5 billion in AI sales in its fiscal 2024 year, but JP Morgan analysts are expecting 60% growth in the category this year. So keynote there, AMD's general manager for data centers says that they can provide double-digit savings for their customers on their AI chips. And another keynote is what Lisa Su said about demand for inference growing significantly. Now, inference is so important because inference comes after the training models. A lot of the chips that have been being sold by Nvidia and AMD have been for training. So AMD has been saying for a while now that they're the best position for inference. And I think the thing behind this is that they understand they dropped the ball on the first phase of the AI infrastructure build out. So I think rather than trying to catch up, they just started preparing for what they saw to be the next phase, which is inference. Another keynote to add here, the AMD officials said they believe their new chips are superior for inference to Nvidia's because AMD's chips are equipped with more high-speed memory, which allows bigger AI models to run on a single GPU. Another part of the cost-cutting approach, where AMD is going to get an edge with their MI350 and MI400 series. If you look here, we have AMD's revenue and earnings per share history. So from 2016 to 2025, they've essentially 6.5x their revenue, which is very impressive. Their peak decline in revenue was in 2023. So they had revenue growth every single year besides 2023. And if you look here, same deal. 2023, peak revenue decline, peak EPS decline. But otherwise, in prior years, they have always put up very impressive earnings per share growth numbers. Now let's go ahead and check out their income statement. So this is AMD's annual report. I'm going to skip past this for the time being because what I want to do is look at their last quarter. So we have here the 10Q from Q1 of 2025 comping to Q1 of 2024. They grew their revenue 36%, which is incredible. There are not many companies in the stock market that are growing their revenue 36% or 30% plus even. Their gross profit margin went from 47% to 50%, so they become more efficient with their cost of goods sold. Those saw a decrease, and their net income went up 476% year over year, which is phenomenal. And their net income margin went from 2% in the same quarter last year to 10%. And that's obviously attributed to their revenue growth relative to their operation expenses. So when you don't have to increase your expenses a ton in order to increase your revenue a ton, that would be considered operating leverage. Now 10% net income margins aren't super high, but they are obviously trending in the right direction, which is really fantastic. Now, if we look on an annual basis, this is really one of the highest gross profit margins they've had. 49% is incredible for this company. And the 10% net income margin is also incredible. We saw 6% net income margin in 2022, 4% net income margin in 2023, and 6% again in 2024. So 10% is great for this company.
Two major developments made in the AMD story thus far. One being the price target upgrades, and two being the MI355 price raises. From $15,000 to $25,000, a 70% increase. This price increase still leaves their pricing $5,000 cheaper than Nvidia's chips, and I believe the reason they're doing this is to curtail demand on the MI355X chip. I think they're seeing that much traction that they need to raise their prices by 70%. Not only did Sam Altman take his valuable time to go speak on behalf of AMD and their product that he couldn't believe they made happen, but he also had this to say in the next post. So as you can see, the financials look fantastic. AMD is getting testimonies from some of the most significant AI players in this space, if not the most significant player in the AI space. And they're about to come out with products that are comparable to Nvidia's, not only the MI350, but the MI400 series that is yet to come, coming out in 2026. And it's not only that this product is going to be comparable on performance, the price is going to be substantially lower. And AMD is willing to sacrifice their margins in order to steal market share. Every big tech company is going to be in favor of this. If they can get a high quality product for a lower price, then they are going to be in favor of that every day of the week. As we went over, AMD is best positioned for inference, and the market share that they have right now is just a sliver of what it could be. Just in 2021, the percentage of AI revenue coming into Nvidia's business was 25%. Now it makes up 90% of the revenue that comes in. Right now, AMD is floating around the same number. About 20 to 25% of their revenue comes from AI, and they could take a very similar path as Nvidia and have a disproportionate amount of their revenue coming from AI in the future. So that is my thesis on AMD. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you feel I earned it, hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.
You know, every generation is always special, but Helios is truly a giant step forward. With MI355, we're taking a big step forward. You've heard some of that this morning. We're delivering 3x more performance across a broad range of workloads, extremely competitive versus the state of the art today. And with Helios, we're bending that curve further. The MI400 series is expected to deliver up to 10x more performance for the most advanced frontier models, making MI400 the highest performing accelerator. I think 10x is a good number. Is it a good number? Look, if I sound excited, that's because I am excited. And as you might expect, customer excitement for the MI400 series and Helios is really high. Like, these are the types of programs you don't just start today. I mean, we have been working with customers for the past few years to really just jump ahead of the curve and see what our customers really need. One of those customers who has been a very, very early design partner, who has given us significant feedback on the requirements for next generation training and inference, is OpenAI. I'm honored, really, we've really appreciated the partnership and collaboration between OpenAI and AMD over the last few years. Working together in Azure, working on some of your research stuff, and particularly the deep design on MI450. I think you guys were really early in just some of the important insights. Can you just tell us a little bit about how that's evolved and sort of like how we can do more for you?
It's been amazing working with you all, obviously, and we're already running some work on the 300X, but the MI450 series, I think, and the work we've been able to do there is you've worked on that over the last couple of years, and we're very grateful for listening to our input. Hopefully we'll be a good representative for what the industry as a whole needs. But we are extremely excited for the MI450. The memory architecture is great for inference. I believe it can be an incredible option for training as well. And when you first started telling me what you were thinking about for the specs, I was like, there's no way. That just sounds totally crazy. That's too big. But it's really been so exciting to see you all get close to delivery on this, and I think it's going to be an amazing thing.